Are we in the midst of the first WikiLeaks revolution? Some say we are. The African nation of Tunisia has descended into violence and chaos following the release of secret cables revealing the extent of corruption during the nation's 23-year dictatorship. My next guest, Jacob Hornberger, president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, says this is an example of why U.S. officials are so angry over the WikiLeaks document dumps. Jake, welcome back to Freedom Watch. What did we learn via WikiLeaks about the horrors of this regime in Tunisia and its relationship to the present government and preceding governments in the United States?
Well, we learned, and more important, the people of Tunisia learned from these WikiLeaks leaks, some of the corruption that this 23-year dictator was engaged in, including, I think what was the straw that broke the camel's back was this great big lavish party that for the American ambassador there at some plush place that one of the government officials happened to own. And when the people of Tunisia saw these cables and the extent of this corruption, that's what triggered off this revolution. Well,
the revolution itself is really unprecedented to happen in an Arab country, which obviously are not democracies. This wasn't a democracy. In fact, this guy was what we would call a brutal dictator. Am I naive to suggest that the American government would not be backing up a brutal dictator? Why did we back this guy? Why did we facilitate his dictatorship?
For the same reason that this government has supported dictators throughout its history, I mean, throughout the last 30, 40 years. It supports the dictators that will do the bidding of the U.S. government, for example, in votes in the United Nations. That was why they supported Saddam Hussein, the Shah of Iran, why they supported this guy. And they call this guy a partner in the war on terrorism, which meant that he oppressed his own people, which, of course, he considered terrorists, at least those that were dissenting against his regime.
All right, this guy has fled the country. The crowds have taken control of the street. The military is in favor of the crowds and against the remnants of his government. What happens now? Or what does the United States of America Department of State, what did Secretary Clinton say should happen now? Is she welcoming his departure, saying we never really liked this guy anyway? Or is she standing up for her former ally?
No, he's gone, and now they're making new friends, and they're saying, hey, we really like this democracy. We're standing with the people, even though they stood with this dictator. And even though they're still angry about the fact that the way the people of Tunisia found out about this was through these WikiLeaks leaks. They're not pleased about that at all, but they've got to play this game. They're saying, oh, we're standing with the people, we're supporting the people, and really what they're looking at is another dictator that will do their bidding like the previous one did.
This WikiLeaks organization is really an obstacle for the government. I wish the government would be intellectually honest about it. In this case, a brutal dictator was overthrown because of WikiLeaks. You may soon see the Justice Department indicting people in the United States because WikiLeaks is about to reveal tax evasion and other criminal activity on the part of prominent American bankers. And WikiLeaks revealed things that embarrass the government. Why won't the government say once and for all, in a mature democracy, it's better for people to know what's happening than for them to be kept in the dark by their own government?
Because that would not cover up their wrongdoing. And that's what this is all about. That's what the Pentagon Papers release was all about. That's what all this secrecy is about. They don't want their wrongdoing released because people get angry over that sort of thing. There's always the possibility that the American people might start looking at what their own government is doing and be just as upset as maybe the people of Tunisia. That scares government officials.
Jake Hornberger, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Judge.